Eteocles is about to fulfill the curse that his father Oedipus has put upon him and his brother Polynices, that they're to divide their inheritance by the sword. Thebes is guarded by 7 gates, and here he discusses his decision to leave and fight his brother at the 7th and final battle. This is line 702 to 708 of the Seven Against Thebes by Sophocles. How it seems that the gods have already left us. What kind of grace would they accept from us, those ruined? Why should we any longer turn from facing death and certain doom? Now more than ever it's possible, since maybe that destructive power with the turning of time can change with so mild a wind. But right now it rages. And in the Greek, that's Theoismen edepos pare mele metha, karis ta femon olamemon thou mazdetai, dion et an sainomen olethrion moron. Nun otisoi paresta kenepe daimon, le matosen tropaiai, croniai metallactosisos aneltoi, telemo teroi pneumatinun detis dei. The audience of the play would have known the significance of the Greek word parestaken, which is Homeric. In Homer, whenever destiny is quote-unquote standing beside, it's in a sense of inevitability. Consider these lines from the 16th book of the Iliad at 851 to 854. And another thing I'll tell you, and put this in your chest, you won't be long here in life, but already death stands nearby as grievous mighty fate, that you're to be slain by the hands of Achilles, unmatched son of Aeschylus. In the hexameter, that's Alo de toi ero sudeni fresiba leosesin, uten autos deron be ala toiere, angi pareste gentanatoiskai moi racretaie, Kersidament Achilleos amumonos akidao. In just a few moments, Eteocles will ignore the advice of the chorus, who are composed of young Theban girls, and go off to battle. The certain doom that he describes is that of the fulfillment of the prophecy that their father cursed them with, that they'll divide the kingdom by the sword. But for now, the chorus offers reprieve and hope otherwise. But their diction betrays the futility of this. Hope is not what stands close by, parestakin, but rather the reality of the curse's ultimatum. Eteocles must go into battle, and not the least because of the heroic stakes that he defines his life by. The etymology of this single word can frame the tragic loss yet to come. It is impossible to wait for the wind to stop raging. That would betray the reality that Eteocles has begun to understand. While he vocalizes a feeling of abandonment by the gods, the truth is that the gods had never been nearer, and that the culmination of the curse of Apollo on Laius' house will finally reach a zenith once they divide their fortune, quote-unquote, by the sword. This is made all the more clear to Eteocles by the dream and the idea of the stranger, which is actually iron. He discusses his dreams in the following passage, lines 709 to 713, directly following. Yes, for the curse of Oedipus has made it, or the wind, rage. All too true indeed were the dreams in sleep I saw concerning the division of our father's property. Be convinced by women, even if you're loath to. You can say what you think is right, but you won't need to speak for long. And in the Greek, that's Exes desen garoi dipu kateugmata, aganda letes enupnion phantasmaton, opsis patroon crematon taterioi. Pitu ganaik sikair peru stergon homos, legoit anhon anetis, ude cremakran. Eteocles' dream pertains to the division of the kingdom that they have been ruling in turn after the demise of their father, Oedipus, who self-blinded himself and left the city in ruin after learning the truth about his marriage with his mother and murder of his father. In Eteocles' dream, he is led to believe that a stranger will arrive to solve the division of their fallen father's kingdom. Now, just before the final fight at the 7th gate, that stranger is all too clearly iron, mentioned several times earlier in the play. On stage, this may have been all the more clear as the very sword which he's preparing for battle in the scene. Most texts have him putting on armor in the surrounding choreography. His spoken response to the chorus's song in the first text at once admits the certitude of his father's curse and reckons with his own. But the alternative given by the chorus of girls is rebuked in the chorus's transition out of song as well, as they beseech him more to be convinced, now out of the lyric meters of the antistrophe, which are in dochmiacs, a lyric meter, he makes a double recognition of their opposition to his fate. Quote, "You can say what you think is right, but it's unnecessary to do so for long. Lagoiton hon anetis udekre makran. You can say, not sing." No more song, no more deliberation, but rather the seizure of destiny and the ultimate death of him and his brother offstage. It's easy to get caught up in the dreams and destinies of this passage, but what's important to note here is the transition to their real-world consequences. There is a massive army that has been pressing Thebes' 7 gates, headed by 7 warriors. The anxiousness of the women is an impossibility to give in to. Not just because of Eteocles' recognition of the will of the gods, but because if he doesn't fight for them, they'll be destroyed anyway as a city, as Polynices will no doubt break in past the 7th and final gate. Necessity is therefore drawn as a cord to seal the fate of the brothers while simultaneously remaining entirely believable to the audience. This was a key part of tragedy's function in Aristotle's Poetics. It is a pity that they have to kill each other, but at the same time, this is the outcome of a failure to treat their cursed father well, or capably share rule on a 1-year on, 1-year off basis. This is a sensitivity to the reverence to the gods and the kindred destiny of the family that is brought out by the high words of a singing chorus of girls, especially considering the blankness of battle will pose the opposite in extreme proximity. But the war will be all too physical and consequential. The chorus's offering of opportunities beyond battle deepens the tragic effect of watching the brother go off to defend his city. Just as the cascading effects of Laius' disregarding the oracle's thrice-made order to not bear children led to his destruction and the curse of that son, Oedipus, so too are the consequences here seen in opposition to what is imagined as a way out by the chorus. Why not wait for an easier wind? Why not right the ship of state in calm waters instead of rough seas? Waiting will do nothing. Waiting is the same result, if not worse, because it deprives him of his honor. They are transgressing the laws of the gods already by fighting each other, blood against blood, but to surrender is all the more of an impossibility than a hope of victory. The 7 against Thebes rings out with these concepts, and this one moment highlights just one of these parts in the play. And as the Antigone will show later, the eventual victory does not yet completely settle the curse. But that's a conversation for another time. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more classical content.